Well, thanks for tuning in to Jay's Garage once again. This is a fascinating piece of automotive history. This is currently the fastest car in the world, the Ultimate Aero. Certified Guinness Book of World Records, beat the Bugatti Veyron, and it's made right here in the United States. Now, I have to admit, I wasn't really totally familiar with this car until they actually brought it here. There's been a lot of rumors. Oh, it's a kit car. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. No, it's not. It's a real 100% car that meets DOT standards that you can buy right here in the United States. Let's meet the man behind it, Jared Shelby. Jared, how are you?
Excellent.
Now, I got to admit, first of all, the name kind of throws people because the Shelby and supercars, we go right to Carroll Shelby. You are in no way associated with Carroll Shelby, correct?
No, it's just a coincidence. Same last name.
Right.
And we actually go by SSC,
Okay.
just so there isn't a confusion there. The idea came about 10 years ago. The napkin drawings and early computer drawings started about 9 years ago. And 7 years ago, actually broke ground with starting to fabricate the early prototypes. We've done hundreds of miles of testing at over 220 miles an hour. Now we have come out and publicly, announced this car.
So tell us about the car. All carbon fiber tub?
It's actually a chrome moly chassis, carbon fiber center tub inside of that chassis, lightweight composite body, carbon fiber and a material called EBX 1208.
Okay. Obviously gull wing type doors.
This is about as wide a car as you will find on the market. This is 1 inch shy of 7 feet wide.
Wow.
So it's 83 inches wide. This is 4 to 6 inches wider than a Murcielago, an Enzo, a Bugatti Veyron. I've gone very, very wide for cornering. And I did give up a little on aerodynamics because that made my frontal plane a little bit larger, which brings your coefficient of drag up.
What is the coefficient of drag in this car?
0.357.
0.357. That's not too bad, is it? Tell us about the wheels.
The 2008 wheel that we just introduced a few months ago is a one-piece forged monoblock wheel. Rotating weight is so important.
Right.
And these are actually 8 pounds lighter per wheel than what we used in the world record attempts. We actually build our brakes in-house.
Oh, okay.
It's a 14-inch rotor front and rear, 8-piston front calipers, 6-piston rear. The calipers on this particular car are produced by SSBC, which is an American-based company.
What is the fuel tank capacity on this?
The fuel tank of the Ultimate Aero actually has 32 gallons.
Wow,
of
32
fuel
gallons,
capacity.
okay. Because I imagine when you're running high speed, that goes by pretty quickly.
Well, there's two ways you can look at that. At 32 gallons, if you have enough discipline to drive down the highway and not step into it, it actually has a fuel range of about 620 miles.
Oh, okay.
But on the other hand, full throttle, full boost, that 32 gallons will last about 7.5 minutes.
Wow.
Which is, for the mathematicians, that's about a gallon every 15 seconds.
Yeah, that's not good, a gallon every 15 seconds. Boy, it's nicely done and nicely finished. So many of these cars, the real key to me is always the panel gap when it varies from here to here. It's an inch down, quarter inch down there and half an inch at the top. Tell me about the logo. Is that just your own design?
That's actually a combination of our family crest, our Shelby family crest, and wanted to bring the red, white, and blue in of the United States, show a little pride. The power plant is an SSC designed 6.3 liter twin turbo billet aluminum block V8. We use 14 pounds of boost pressure on our turbo systems. This puts out 1,183 horsepower, 1,094 foot-pounds of torque. And with that extreme horsepower came a number of challenges that we've worked on for the last 3 years. When you hit a certain speed, in this car it was about 220 miles an hour, when the tires won't spin anymore, something had to give, and it was normally the clutch. This has a very specially designed 7.25 inch triple disc carbon tilt and clutch. Okay. And a 6-speed manual transmission.
I assume there's no traction control or ABS.
No. Early design philosophy on the car was to make it a driver's car. I wanted a car that you not only throttled with your right foot, but at times you could steer with your right foot. Right. So this car doesn't have ABS or traction control.
Now I know that you don't have what we used to call it in the old Ford Falcons, the Monte Carlo bar, the Mustang, coming over the top. No need for it?
No need for it. There is crossbars just below the intercoolers here for the turbos. The chassis is amazingly rigid in this car. There has been times when you pull into a steep driveway at an angle, you'll actually pull a tire 3 inches off the ground. It's so stiff.
Now this cradle here, the whole engine sets in that? Is that how that works?
Yes, it is.
Why V8? Why not V10, V12?
Our early prototype days, we actually used a GM C5R racing block. From observations that we came back with and results from testing, we actually went with a full billet CNC block.
Okay. How about cooling concerns? You know, we've got our Tornado next door that we built up, and we ran twin turbos on that, and we wound up making 2 separate water tanks, one for each turbo. Does this use all the same water for turbo block engine cooling, or
No,
is it a separate system? Okay.
It is separate.
Okay.
This car has 8 radiators on board, and there's some large ducts in the sides of the car, which is actually the engine coolant radiators.
Okay.
There are separate water sources for liquid to air intercoolers for the turbochargers. Obviously, when you're creating this kind of horsepower, it creates a lot of temperature.
Right.
And one thing that's very important to us is keeping the intake air temperature down.
Nicely finished here with all the carbon fiber. This is, I assume these are both water, correct?
Yeah, actually one is the fill for the engine coolant,
right,
and the other is the fill for the turbo cooling system.
Okay, I see. And how do you check the oil on this thing? Is there a dipstick on it?
There is actually a dipstick.
See, thanks for putting
right
a dipstick. I hate these cars that have no dipstick, like BMW now. I can't actually see what my oil looks like to even see if it's dirty. So what is the retail value? What do these go if somebody wanted to buy one?
Here in the United States, these are right around $620,000.
Okay, well, you know, the supercar world is an odd sort of place. I remember when the McLaren F1 came out, they thought they would sell 300. I think Bugatti Veyron expected to sell 350, 400. I mean, that's that rarefied market, you know.
Sure.
How many do you think you'll produce per year?
Well, the production run on the Ultimate Aero, we're holding to 50 cars.
Okay.
And the whole idea behind the Ultimate Aero was to brand name SSC, our company name. And we've got 2 follow-up projects. One is a 220 mile an hour 4-door luxury sedan. That'll be a much higher production volume.
Right.
And we've got a very exciting green project that we're working on right now that will also be starting in the next few months.
So you're going to do a 4-door sedan. So you got the 200 miles an hour with the kid seat in the back. That's kind of fun. Interior is pretty much basic supercar interior, just what you need to know. We have our TAC right in front here, huh?
Yeah, digital readout for speedo, oil temp, oil pressure, everything.
Okay, satellite navigation and radio, you got to have all that. I read something in one of the European magazines that said you didn't have air conditioning, but you do.
Oh, it does. Yes,
it does have air conditioning.
It has all the amenities of a luxury sedan.
Nicely done. Obviously, all carbon fiber interior, and 2,900 pounds. It's very realistic. You know, a lot of times people say, we're building a supercar, it'll be 2,100. No, it's not. It's not going to be 2,100. So you're about 150 pounds lighter than the Corvette and lighter than the Carrera GT with about double the horsepower. So I'm no mathematician, but that sounds pretty fast. Well, now we're going to take it for a ride. This is the most exciting part. This is the best part about having this website. You get to drive the coolest stuff in the world. And this is definitely very, very cool. I have to admit, up until I actually talked with Jared and saw the car, I was very, very skeptical. Because, you know, if you're a car or motorcycle enthusiast, you know the Indian story. Every couple of months, somebody's going to reinvent the Indian, or they're going to make an all-new motorcycle, and they just take some proprietary engine, they stick it to the frame, and they call it an Indian. And how many supercars you've seen where somebody just takes a Mustang or Corvette engine, oh, we're going to build a supercar, and they never, ever live up to the claims. The coolest thing about this car is, they said they were going to do something, and then they did it, and now they have the world record. Will that world record be broken? Probably. Maybe by one of these again. But the cool thing is, from what I've seen so far, it's a real car, it's made in America using American components, and it's the fastest car in the world. We've now taken that away from the Europeans. It's like we've won the soccer cup. It's like we won the World Cup. It's like you won the World Series. But I haven't driven the car yet. I'm going to get in. I'm not going to go 257, but who knows? Maybe we'll come close. All right, kind of get in it like this. Little note to Brittany, if you get in this car, you know what to wear. Oh, blow the horn. Let's fire it up. Throw the ignition switch. Now those are fuel pumps. This sounds like fire hose pumps. I'm going to put the ride height up now. I don't know what I'm going to scrape here. To me, the test of making a supercar properly, not only it goes fast and stops, but that it can cool off and run at a reasonable temperature. You know, a lot of times you get in these aftermarket kit car deals or something, and temperature goes to 220, and the guy says, oh, you got to turn it off and pull over. This thing, you get off the throttle for 2 minutes if it gets hot, and she cools right down again. Unlike the Veyron, which is sort of a luxury fast car, this is a true sports car. You feel like you're in a Le Mans racer of some kind. You know, you got the twin turbos just blowing off all kinds of power behind you. You can hear them huffing and breathing. I mean, that's part of the whole experience. A proper 6-speed manual gearbox. I know paddle shifters and electronic shifters can be faster, but you miss that whole visceral experience. You know, driving around off boost, it feels quite civilized. It feels like any normal V8 car. It's not until you kind of get into the boost that it really kicks in, and that's when things happen quickly. As Jared said, they deliberately don't have the pop-off valve so you can hear the wastegates. And boy, when they come on, you hear them. It's a fast car. I love that sound. I'm sure this car probably has some kind of stereo sound system, but I'm not interested. I see some German food up ahead. It's a Porsche. Let's eat it. And you got your horsepower gauge right here, which measures how much horsepower you're using at any particular time. Right now we're at 150. Let's put our foot in a little bit and see if we can get it up a little bit higher. It's a lot of horsepower. In some ways, the engine's a little reminiscent of my Tornado motor. And that's a 427 Corvette Le Mans motor with twin turbos on it. That makes 1,176 horsepower, but of course it weighs almost twice as much as this car. Sitting here in traffic in Los Angeles, 100-degree day, water temperature 196, oil temperature about 215. Pretty impressive. I mean, this is about half the price, or maybe a little less than half the price of a Bugatti Veyron, and I have to admit, this is more my kind of car. You just feel these tires looking for grip every time you put your foot in it, and these are huge, massive tires. So now we have to wait for everybody to catch up to us. You know, the more I drive this car, the more comfortable it gets, the more you settle into it. It really is a driver's car. There's no aids at all. When I drove the Bugatti Veyron, although it was incredibly fast, it just felt big and cumbersome. This car seems to kind of shrink around you. Very, very impressive. You know, a lot of the European stuff has 12 cylinders and overhead cams and 4 or 5 barrel per cylinder. But this has got the brute horsepower. When you go racing, that's what you need. I like cars that are one man's vision. A Toro Bugatti, Gordon Murray, and now my new best friend, Jared Shelby. Nice job. But you know, I have to say, as an American, I'm proud of this car. I think it does a great job. I was very skeptical, you know. A guy I never heard of shows up with a car I never heard of, but fastest car in the world. That says something. I understand they're also going to have a carbon fiber rotor option, which is okay. I mean, rarely on the street you get carbon fiber brakes hot enough to work, but steels actually work better on the street use. But that's a supercar thing. Everybody's got to have them. So I don't miss them. This has got plenty of brake. I'm so used to people in show business tell me what they're going to do and then not doing it. So it's nice to meet somebody that did something, and then I see what they did afterwards. But I think you've done a wonderful job. It's a sort of classic American ingenuity, using American suppliers, American parts, and it's the fastest car in the world. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Check this space. Keep watching this space. We'll have more on this car.